Hi team, welcome to your Daily Sādhana. This is Caiti. I use she, her pronouns, and welcome to your practice. Today we'll be exploring a practice of kind of introspection and then a little bit of vulnerability and expansion. And we're going to oscillate between those two sensations by oscillating between two types of postures. We'll have a lot of binding or eagle variations of binding. So in front, and then towards the end of class, we'll find a little bit more of those counter postures to peel the heart back open and to find that deeper expansion. And so as you move throughout the practice, my ask is that we start to find these postures almost like little mirrors, reflecting back to us things we need to dive a little bit deeper on, things we might need to explore, things we might need to excavate, things we might not have even known are there. So continue to use your mat as your therapeutic space to unravel, and keep using your postures as tiny little moments of reflection and introspection to bring you just a little bit closer to what lies inside. A big ask for a less than 60-minute practice, but thankfully we got a whole channel worth of them, and we have a whole lifetime to use the practice itself. So with that, we'll get started. I would love for you to come down to lie on your belly in Makrasana, or crocodile pose. And so what this looks like is come all the way down to your belly, and then you might stack your forearms one on top of the other, and then you can either lie your cheek down, one cheek to your forearm, or you might lay your forehead down instead. If you're lying with one cheek facing down, just give yourself a few rounds of breath and then be sure to switch. I'd love to make sure that you're even. But wherever it is that you've decided to be, I just want you to feel very settled in. Let your hips and your thighs and the tops of your feet get extremely heavy into the ground. Let your forearms rest and your shoulders start to drape down closer towards the mat. Let your head get heavy on top of your forearms, feeling very rested, very restful, very supported in this space and in this practice. Supported by the mats and the props and yourself. Knowing that what you excavate, what you explore, what you pull out is with curiosity rather than judgment. And take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, fill up. And breathe out. And conjure an Ujjayi breath in and out of your nose. And use it as a barometer for your class to ensure that you're moving at the pace that feels good to you, not a pace that feels forced, or a pace that feels unchallenging. Find the alignment that lies right in between those two. When you are very ready, press into your right forearm and thread your left arm underneath you. Your bicep will be a little bit more underneath your throat or maybe underneath your chin. This is called a half scarf pose. And so as you lie back down onto the ground, ensure your shoulders are facing towards the ground and your hips are also facing towards the ground. We'll move into a twist soon, so rather than anticipating that we want to get there sooner, be here. Soften onto your left arm as you breathe in. Feeling a deep stretch in the upper shoulders as you breathe out. And steady for one more breath in. And breath out. Now, we're going to move towards a supine twist with our right leg on top of us. So I want you to roll towards the left until your shoulders get flat onto the ground. But your right knee draws up to a 90-degree bend. And now we're in our supine twist. Right shoulder can start to anchor closer towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch. We're coming to this from a different access point, so it could feel a little bit different. It could feel a little bit more sensational. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more for a little depth. Breath in. Soften the grip of your belly as you breathe out. Gently roll back onto your belly, and then we're just gonna switch. So press into your left forearm, thread your right arm underneath you. Chest lies down onto your bicep, and your left forearm might actually support your forehead. Keep the shoulders and the hips facing down towards the ground, offering your weight to your right arm so that your right shoulder stretches and the top of your right bicep gets a little bit more expansive. And take a breath in. And a breath out. Let your ribs push away from the floor. Breathe in. Let your back melt closer to the floor through your ribs. Breathe out. Let's head to our supine twist. Roll towards your left shoulder so that it gets a little bit closer towards the mat. And then from here, keep rolling until your left shoulder feels like it gets closer towards the ground. Left knee comes into the 90-degree shape for your supine twist, and then the belly starts to soften so that it can rotate. Release the muscles, release the constraints, relieve the what-ifs. And surrender to each and every posture and what it brings up. You are in the safety of your own space. You have the tools, you have the strength, you have the knowledge to encounter and to overcome whatever it is that bubbles up. Breathe in. And breathe out. Mindfully, I want you to come back through center and then press up to a tabletop. So onto all fours. From your all fours, tuck your toes, have your blocks near you. And then downward facing dog will lift the hips all the way up and back. First downward facing dog, so keep moving around here. Bend and extend one leg and then the other. Pedal the heels down towards the ground like you're just trying to tap on a tiny little piano key right behind your heels. Push the ground away with your palms and find straight-ish arms, but very strong here. And then put more weight back in towards your lower half, knowing that it's strong enough to hold you here. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keep looking at your feet, and then walk your hands back to meet your feet. We'll find a rag doll at the back of the mat. Once your hands are safely in front of your feet, move your feet out wider towards the outer edges of the mat. Bend your knees until you feel like your chest and thighs can touch. And then maybe find a bind in your arms, opposite hand, opposite elbow in front. Interlaced fingertips maybe behind, or maybe you just let your arms hang heavy. Let your head hang the heaviest. Crown of the head magnetized to the center of the earth, and heels and ball mounds of your feet kind of oscillating between those two spaces, placing weight back and forth, charging up the hamstrings, charging up the thighs, just feeling the weight and the effort move amongst them. Breathe in. Breathe out. Release your bind, step your feet a little bit closer together, and then press into your heels and roll all the way up to stand. Relax your arms by your sides. Give yourself a moment just to be here and to breathe here. And steady inhale. And steady exhale. Get your arms overhead or the Hastasana. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Hinge at your hips. Halfway lift, hands to shins or to thighs. And as you exhale, crawl your way out to a high plank position and then lower all the way down to your belly. Tent your fingertips towards the upper corners of your mat for an oscillating cobra. Drag your elbows on top of your wrists. On your inhale, press into your fingertips and the tops of your feet. Just lift your heart. Exhale, lower, release, tap the forehead down. 2 more. Roll up, press up, squeeze the glutes to protect the spine. Exhale, lower, release down. 1 more. Roll up, lift up. Breathe in. Lower, release, and exhale. Plant your palms, tuck your toes, tabletop or plank, you choose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high to the sky, 3-legged downward facing dog. And then take an opportunity to spill your hip open, bend your right knee, curl your heel towards your left glute. Try to stack your hips, and as you hug through your hamstring, let your hip and your quadricep open more. On your inhale, reach the right leg back up high, and exhale, cheetah. Draw your right thigh in towards your chest, round through your spine. And breathe in to look forward. And exhale as you step through, drop your left knee down for a low lunge. Kickstand your left toes out behind you and open up to a grounded warrior 2. As you find your grounded warrior 2 here, draw your right knee closer towards your pinky toe. So that without the standing effort, we can now focus on the smaller, more micro efforts that we need. Draw your arms out to a T, take a breath in. As you exhale, find a big bear hug. So right arm on top of left, hug for your shoulder blades. Lift your elbows towards the sky. And then as you exhale, melt down for a humble variation. Let your elbows drag heavy towards the ground and push your hips back and away towards the back of your room. Head hangs heavy into the cradle of your arms. Breathe in. And breathe out. Unwind your bind. Grounded side plank to the back. So plant your left hand down, lengthen your right leg long, and point your right toes towards the long edge of your mat. Reach your right hand high or maybe overhead to create some more length on the entire right side. You might lift your right leg if you're feeling a little bit more expansive. Breath in. As you exhale, lizard lunge to the top of your space. So crawl your way forward, hands to the inside of your right foot. And then just scoot your back knee back just a little bit. We'll dive into the hips pretty quickly. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take a breath in, tent to your fingertips. You might want your blocks here. As you exhale, find a half split variation. Shift your hips back so you lengthen through your right leg. Now the variation element is that you're probably a little bit more on a diagonal than you are straight forward with your right leg, and that's okay. So embrace the drawing back of the right hip. And so the hips are still level. The right leg is just heading towards the upper right corner of your mat. Flare your right toes back towards your face. Push your right heel down more. Take a breath in. Then take a breath out. Glide forward to your active lizard. Lift the left knee. And exhale, downward facing dog. We step the right foot back. Left leg lifts up. Breathe in. And then bend your knee, open your hip, exhale. Stay here for a few rounds of breath. Make sure that you still have the same sensations on this side, the same openness, same opportunity. On your next inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, cheetah. Draw the left knee in towards your chest. Take a look forward for integrity. And then step firmly through and set your right foot down to the ground. Kickstand your right toes behind you and then open up for your grounded warrior 2. This time, focus on your arms as they reach forward and back. The shoulders are away from the ears, and then the shoulders also turn to be more parallel towards the long edge of your mat so that they are more in line with your hips than we might think. Breath in. Exhale for your bear hug, left arm on top of right, so front arm going on top. Find some space between your elbows and the floor as you breathe in. And exhale for the humble variation. Push the hips back, melt the arms forward. Keep your head heavy. Keep pressing into the outer blade of your left foot and drive down through your back foot. Maybe the shoelace side or your toes might be tucked. Breath in and breath out. Grounded side plank to the back, please. Plant your right palm, lengthen your left leg, and then reach your left arm either straight up or straight overhead. If your arm's overhead, just make sure your palm faces down so you have more space in the shoulder girdle. Breath in. As you exhale, lizard lunge toward the top of your space. So we'll crawl hand over hand until palms are on the inside of your left leg. Scoot your right knee back just a touch so we have some diagonal spacing here. Breathe in and out. And steady breath in. And as you exhale, shift the hips back, half splits. Use your blocks here. Mine are both going to be on the inside of my left leg since we have this diagonal spacing still. So if that feels more comfortable to you, absolutely pull the left arm to the inside. Left hip pulls back so the right hip has the space to come forward and be level. And thinking about your collarbones reaching for your ankles so there's still length in the spine. Breath in and breath out. And inhale for your lizard lunge. Make it active as you tuck the back toes and plant your palms. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Breath in here. Breath out here. Take a look forward. Travel to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Halfway lift, find some space. And exhale to fold forward. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Sink your hips and then reach your hands either up straight forward or keep them at your heart center. I want you to place the weight back into your heels and find a soft tuck of the tailbone. So like an abdominal crunch, knit the ribs together, flatten through the lower lumbar spine. Breath in here. And as you breathe out, left arm under right for a full eagle bind. So left elbow underneath the right elbow. You might bind at the palms. You might still stay with your bear hug. It's completely up to you. Breath in. As you breathe out, weight goes into the right foot. Inhale, eagle bound stork. Pull the left knee up with you. And then as you exhale, ground, or warrior three rather, with your eagle bind. Use the bind to lean you forward. Use the strength of your left glute to lift it up. Breath in and out. Take a large step back. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Reach the fingertips up overhead. Beautiful. Breath in here. As you exhale, arrowhead. Reach the fingertips back towards the back wall and then pull your collarbones forward like they're trying to peek in front of your right toes. Find a diagonal line from crown to the back heel and space in your right hip flexor so we're not compressing it. There's a little bit of room in between. And breathe in and breathe out. Drop your left hand down to the ground or to a block. Breathe in, revolved side angle. Reach your right palm high to the sky. As your right arm goes up, your right hip draws back. Your left side gets longer. Breath in. Exhale, forward fold, right hand lands, and then your left foot meets your right. Halfway lift. And exhale, we fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana, sink the hips, raise the hands up. And then as you exhale, eagle bind, this time right arm under and left arm on top. Bind at the palms, bind at the shoulders, or maybe forearms pressed together and we don't bind at all. We just find the engagement there. The effort's still the same. Breathe in. Put effort into the left foot on the breath out. Draw your right knee up. Take an inhale for eagle bound stork. And exhale, eagle bound warrior three. Send your right heel to the back of your space as you draw your forearms towards the ground. Steady here, breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Step back, reach the arms up. Be very dramatic as you unwind the arms and reach up. We're going to have in that back and forth moment where we're hugging in and then opening up. So Use it to your advantage. Breathe in. Arrow lunge as you sweep your fingertips back. Charge them towards the back wall. Reach your crown forward like it's going to go straight through the wall or whatever it is that's in front of you. Come high up on your back toes like there's something lifting up your back heel. Breath in. And breath out. A right arm down to the ground or a block. Revolve side angle. Draw your left hip back to reach your left arm up. Your right shoulder starts to creep underneath you, so it's aligned underneath your left. Breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Left hand meets the ground and right foot steps forward. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Rise up to mountain, all the way up. Hands reach up overhead. Hands to heart center on the exhale. Stay here, find a breath in. And a breath out. Breath to movement we go. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, left arm under right for your eagle bind. Left knee rises on the inhale. Left leg kicks back on the exhale. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Land the toes, rise the arms. Exhale, arrow lunge. Reach your fingertips behind you. Revolved side angle. Left hand grounds, right arm lifts. Exhale, right hand grounds, forward fold, top of the mat. Halfway, breath in. Then breath out, fold. Chair pose, your depth, your choice. Right arm under, eagle bind, breathe out. Lift the right knee, inhale. Kick the right leg back, exhale. High crescent lunge, land lightly, lift up. Exhale, arrow lunge, reach back. Revolve side angle, right hand to the ground, left palm sweeps. Exhale, left palm lands, forward fold, top of the mat, halfway lift. Forward fold. One more time. Chair pose, breathe in. Left arm under right for your eagle bind, breathe out. Left knee rises, inhale. Left leg kicks back on the exhale. High crescent lunge, land, and then lift the chest. Exhale, arrow lunge, reach the fingertips back. Revolve side angle, left hand grounds, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, step to the top of your space. Halfway lift, last time. Exhale, fold. Rise up, chair pose. Right arm underneath on the exhale. Right knee rises, breath in. Right leg kicks back as you breathe out. High crescent, inhale. Arrow lunge on the exhale. Revolve side angle, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift. Then fold. All the way to the sky, mountain pose, Urdhva Hastasana, inhale. Hands to heart center, exhale. Arms up, breathe in. Fold forward, breathe out. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, high plank, step back, plant your palms. Shift forward, lower all the way down to your bellies. Move into Sphinx pose, forearms underneath your shoulders, palms grounded. Lift through the chest, press to the top of your feet so much that your knees start to lift. And then traction your elbows back to your hip points and let your chest peek through your arms. Your gaze is forward, ever so slightly up. Exposed and expansive. Understanding that what you're finding is worth showing off to the world. Breathe in. And breathe out, release. Plank or tabletop, your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog, we lift the hips. Reach your right leg high, three-leg dog. Exhale, step the right foot in between your palms. Inhale, warrior two. Spin your back foot flat and then sweep your arms up and open. Standing warrior two. You've been here before, but let yourself kind of melt back in. Right knee towards the right pinky toe. Right glute squeezes and left leg is super strong. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, eagle bind right under left for your side angle, so we'll lean. Now as you lean and we have no arms to support us, a little bit more depth in the obliques and a little less depth in the lean. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale for Gomukhasana, reverse warrior. So a tricep stretch in the right arm, a half bind in the left arm, and we find ourselves in this opposing state. We oscillate back and forth. Take a breath in. Exhale, eagle bound, side angle, right under left. Inhale, Gomukhasana, reverse, reach up, reach away. Last one, Gomukhasana, side angle, Garudasana, side angle. Gomukhasana, reverse, breathe in. As you exhale, Skandasana, back of the mat, bend into your left knee, lengthen your right leg long. Just here for a breath in, and for a breath out. To the back of the room, grounded warrior 3. Just pivot on your back toes and reach your right leg high to the sky. The grounded warrior 3 instigates that there's a halfway lift through the chest here. So find length, breathe in. Exhale forward, fold, right foot meets left. Roll up to stand, and then as you feel balanced, pull your left knee up, stork pose. You've been here before, but you've had something in front of your face. So now how does it feel to be more expansive in this posture, in this pose, unrestrained? Breath in. Exhale, warrior 3, kick back. What have you released when you released your bind? How are you moving a little bit more freely? Breathe in. And breathe out. Take a step back. Inhale for goddess. Pivot up and then sink into your sumo squat and let your arms kind of move around a little. They might cactus, they might straighten, or they might come to your heart center. Breath in. And breath out. Stand tall, star pose. Wide-legged forward fold as you hinge. Find a halfway lift, just a little brace for the hamstrings. Exhale, low lunge, frame your left foot. Three-legged dog, reach the left leg high. Exhale, we step right through for grounded lunge. Inhale, warrior 2, blossom your arms out. Same on this side, so set yourself up so you have the right stance, the right length for you, not for me. Breath in. Exhale, eagle bind, side angle, this time left under right as you lean. Draw the shoulder blades together behind you and the left hip draws underneath you. Breathe in. And out. Gomukhasana, reverse. Right arm finds the half bind, left arm finds the tricep stretch. Lift and lengthen. 2 more. Exhale, Garudasana, side angle, reach forward. Inhale, Gomukhasana, reverse, up and back. Last one, eagle bind, side angle. Gomukhasana, reverse, up and back. Skandasana, back of the mat, bend the right leg. Flare the left toes up and back, breathe in. And breathe out. To the back of your room, please. Grounded warrior 3. Left heel lifts with a halfway lift through your spine. Find length on the inhale. And a forward fold on the exhale. Roll up to stand. When your left foot feels ready, lift the right knee. Stork pose. Arms up or at heart center. Take what you need. Warrior 3, as you kick the right foot towards the original front of your room. Hinge forward with bravery, breath in. Stay on the breath out. Big step back, inhale for goddess. As you open, then we'll sit nice and low. Move the arms, sway around, breath in. And breath out. Star, we'll stand. And wide-legged fold, we'll hinge. And a halfway lift, please. Find some space. And exhale, we'll find a lunge, and then we'll find a forward fold, top of the mat. Halfway lift. And fold again. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Sink the hips, rise the arms. This time, exhale, full Garudasana, left arm under your right. And then left leg up and over your right. Tap the left toes down and lift the elbows away from your knees. As if you're leaning up against the back wall, make sure your shoulders, your mid-back, and your tailbone would be up against that wall. Breath in. And a breath out. Unravel the arms and come to tree pose. So your left knee would come to the inside of your right leg, as high as you want or as low as you want, just avoiding the knee. Find something to focus on, something that's not going to move, and something that can allow you to find that connected space, that grounded sensation, even and especially when you're moving. Breathe in and out. Stork pose, left knee will draw up, hands will rise. And exhale, arrow lunge. Left leg steps back, arms reach back. Inhale for warrior one, ground your back heel down so that your left toes are facing the upper left corner of your mat. And then find a wide enough stance so that your hips can pull forward, and a narrow enough stance that your back heel can settle down. Everyone's will look different, so be where you need to be. Reach your arms up on the inhale. Bind them behind your hips on the exhale. Inhale, find some space, push your chest up. Exhale for humble warrior, drop your right shoulder on the edge of your right thigh. A counter posture, but a shape we're also familiar with. We've done this grounded, now we just do this standing. Can your head be just as heavy? Can your legs be just as strong? Can your self be open and receptive, knowing that this round is different because you're different? And breathe in. And breathe out. Release your bind for me, please. Find a pyramid pose. So left leg will step up a little more so that you can straighten through your right leg. And it might step out to the left more so the hips can level towards the front of the room, just like your half splits. So again, we're going to feel a little bit more like we're on that diagonal space. That's okay. Right hip back, left hip forward, collarbones to the ankles. And breath in. And breath out. One more length, breathe in. Exhale for a fingertip lunge, so right foot to the center of your mat, tent your fingertips, step your left leg back. Drop your left knee down, Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge, reach the arms up, breath in. Exhale, open twist to the right, reach your right fingertips behind you. Ground through your back knee and through your inner thighs as they brace together so that you can twist and feel. Breathe in. And breathe out. Exalted warrior, right hand to your back thigh, left hand reaches up. Melt your hips forward, find the back bend, breath in. As you exhale, forward fold, cartwheel your hands to the ground, and then step your left foot forward. Halfway lift. And we fold again, last time. Rise up, chair pose, Utkatasana. Eagle this time on the right side, so right arm comes underneath you, and then right leg comes up and over. You can ground your right toes like I do, or you can keep them lifted off the floor. Brace through your inner thighs and through your forearms as you push them away from one another, feeling the same stretch we did when we were lying down in our half scarf pose. You're prepared for this. Trust yourself. Breathe in. And breathe out. Stand tall for tree pose. Push into your left leg. And draw your right leg up as high as you would like it to go on the inside of your left leg. Push your foot and your leg back into one another and embrace the movements and the wobbles and the shakes that come with this. Just because we're moving and shifting doesn't mean we don't have a foundation. It just means that we are adapting with that foundation. Inhale, stork pose. Right knee up. Exhale, arrow lunge, step the right foot back and then reach your hands back. Inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Right heel spins down, hips flare forward. Arms flare up. Exhale, bind your hands behind your hips. On your inhale, open your heart space. And exhale for humble warrior. Left shoulder drapes to the inside of your left thigh. Bend back into your left knee. If you're anything like me, I softened it a lot. And so as you bend back in, head getting heavier, arms can be lighter. And steady here, inhale. And exhale. Release your bind. On your inhale, find length for a pyramid pose. Right foot steps up and maybe steps out. And your blocks are there to support you. Place your hands on them in any setting. And if you're not using blocks, you might be using books or pillows. And pull your left hip as far away from your left heel as it can go. As if you are just going to make your entire left leg longer. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more. Breath in. As you exhale, find your fingertip lunge. Take your fingertips so that you can step your right foot back further. And drop your right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge. Arms reach up. And exhale, open twist to the left. As your left hand reaches back, buckle for your inner thighs and for your right glute, and then press the tops of your right feet down. Rotate your shoulders more towards the left. Breath in. Soften the muscles in your belly as you breathe out. Inhale for exalted. Left hand to right thigh, or maybe a half bind. Reach your right arm up, up, and away. Breath in. And exhale, forward fold, cartwheel your hands, and then tuck your back toes and step forward. Halfway lift. And fold. Rise all the way. Big inhale. Fold forward, exhale. You've done it. Halfway lift. Exhale for a squat, round, and curl. So come high up onto your toes, heels to glutes, and then round in. The deepest moment of introspection. What have you found? What are you avoiding? It's okay, we're all avoiding something. What are you holding on to? Maybe a little bit too firmly. You have the tools, you have the practice, you have the awareness. It's time to do something with that. And breathe in. As you breathe out, come down to your seat. Ooh. Might not be graceful, but we'll get there. Come all the way down to your back, please. Take your blocks with you. We'll set up for Gomukhasana with a reclined variation in the legs. And so take your right knee on top of your left and then flare your feet in opposite directions. And you can grab onto your shins with your hands, right to left and left to right. If that doesn't feel like quite enough, that's okay. Grab the outer edges of your feet, kind of like you would in a happy baby. We're just grabbing the outer blades. Keep your head down. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath in. And out. Keep your knees bound. Release your hands. Drop your knees towards the left for an eagle-bound twist. Drop your right shoulder closer back towards the earth, and know that if you need to release the bind in your knees, that's okay. It is not the focus. Rinse through your spine, rinse through yourself. What do we need to keep from this practice? And what do we need to just flush and let go? Not everything that you find needs to be kept, right? There's a spring cleaning that can happen where we get rid of a lot of things. We let things move through. And then we might find a few pieces that we want to hold on to. Pieces of who we were that we might have set aside. Draw your legs back to center. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees flare out wide. You can flare your arms out as well, or you might bind them overhead, opposite hand to opposite elbow. finding this infinite shape within us. You have the tools, you have the discernment, you have the awareness. What do you need and what needs to go? Draw your knees together and find Gomukhasana on the other side. So left knee over, flare the feet away from each other. Grab for shins because this side is different. Assess, and then maybe grab for your feet. Kick away, because every time we stretch, we want a little bit of engagement there. We keep the joints safe. We keep the muscles activated. Finding length at the end range of their strength in that particular shape. Kind of just like us. At our wits' end, but finding our strength there. Knowing that we have enough. And breath in. And we'll eagle bind our twist on the breath out. Release your hands. Drop your knees towards the right. As you soften through the twist, assess where your knees need to go. They might stack or they might stay. And hopefully you have a few minutes after this practice is complete. Unravel your knees and come back to center, and then set up for a very restful Shavasana. Now, I won't take this with you because I feel like I've asked a lot of questions, so I want you to take the time that you need. Hopefully there's a journal in the room or in a drawer, or you might have your phone nearby with the Notes app open. And I want you to use Shavasana to slowly and softly dissociate in a healthy way, where your mind drifts and your breath finds a natural cadence and nothing feels forced. Let your mind and your heart and your awareness wander to the things it's found, to the things that it has been led to think of, by way of your movement, by way of your practice. When you've completed your time in Shavasana, would love for you to take a moment to journal, to be present with yourself, with your thoughts, and with what you found. This practice, if nothing else, is of self-realization. A practice that you deserve, the tools that you deserve, and the feelings and the sensations of fulfillment that you truly deserve. I hope you find what it is that you're looking for, and I hope you find a bunch of other things along the way. I will practice with you again soon. Thank you so much.